We haven't. I'll make it up. And good evening. Welcome to the Mayor and City Council combined meeting for the month of June. We'll begin with our pledge to the flag. I'll ask Councilman Foster to lead us in that pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilwoman. We'll begin tonight's meeting with approval of the minutes from the May 4th, May 9th regular meetings and the June 1st special meeting. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve all sets of meetings as presented, or minutes as presented.
Very good. Do I have a second, please?
Second.
All right. Before I open it up, I do want to remind those watching from home, this is a combined meeting, so we will be discussing and voting on subjects as they come up this evening due to us not having a meeting on Monday night. So with that clarified, is there any discussion on the minutes as they've been presented to you this evening? Very good. On the motion from Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti and the second from Councilman Foster to approve the minutes of the May 4th and May 9th regular meetings and the June 1st special meeting, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. Very good. I'll now ask members of the council if they have a conflict of interest for anything on the agenda this evening.
No, sir.
Very good. I'll open it up for public comment. Since it is a combined meeting, we're going to entertain public comment on both non-agenda and agenda items. So if there's anything you'd like to discuss at this moment, now is the time. All right, last call. Hearing none, we shall move on. Under resolutions, ordinances, and agreements, we have up for approval this evening the Town-County Agreement for fiscal year 2022-2023. And I'm going to throw over to Jim Wiepricht, our city manager, to kind of go over with us anything of note.
Sure. Pretty much the same routine as we do every year. Just a couple highlights. The net change on the overall grant amount is $90,292 more. Roads, a whopping $20 more. But then on the side where they subtract things back out for the NPDES Memorandum of Understanding and Stormwater Memorandum of Agreement, we're getting larger amounts subtracted by $1,800 and $1,900 respectively. So the net of all that is that our grant amount from the county this year is $86,517 more than the previous year. So, but the language is basically the same as it has been year after year for the last several years.
Okay. I will entertain a motion from the council.
Motion to approve the Taneytown City-County Agreement for the fiscal year 2022 to 2023.
And may I have a second, please?
Second.
Very good. Is there any discussion on the Town-County Agreement? Okay. On the motion to approve the Town-County Agreement for fiscal year 2022-23, the motion from Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti, second from Councilman Fuller, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, say nay. Very good. Up for adoption this evening, we have Resolution 2022-06, the Capital Improvement Program. Have there been changes made to this since we last saw it, Mr. Wiepricht?
There has been one small change on page 29. There was of Appendix B, there was a sentence that just kind of stopped mid-sentence, and that has just been revised to read current buildings. This was regarding the new public works facility. So that sentence was just revised to say current buildings have been utilized for over 40 years without additions to accommodate growth of the city. So kind of a more than a typo, but just a sentence that was incomplete has been corrected. One of the Planning Commission members identified that. Also, the Planning Commission did review that and made a unanimous recommendation to approve at their May 23rd meeting. Let's see. And additionally, a couple months ago, while we were talking about the program, the question was asked about the potential savings related to some of those water and sewer rehabilitation projects. So we looked back at the Roberts Mill Road water and sewer funding applications that we did for the Department of the Environment, and using the unit cost for I&I and water loss and a deteriorated or corroded pipe factor, we applied those numbers to our other projects that are in the capital improvement program. So on the sewer side, we would be looking at a total of, and again, this is just kind of engineering projections, $91,000 a year in reduced sewer processing related to I&I. And on the water side, the projects that we're talking about doing, which is Roberts Mill Road and Broad Street, Fairground Avenue, George Middle and Westview Drive, that would save us about $70,600 a year. So total of about $161,670 is what, and again, this is kind of extrapolating the numbers we use for Roberts Mill Road. Of course, every scenario is going to be a little bit different. So, you know, it's not the most scientific method, but using those figures and kind of projecting them out, that's what we'd be looking to save, or what we hope to save by doing these projects. And that's all I have on the CIP.
Okay. I will entertain a motion from the council.
Motion to approve the capital improvement program?
May I have a second, please?
Second.
All right, any discussion or questions from the council on the program? All right. I'm sorry, you did say Planning Commission gave unanimous.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. All right, with no
And that
further.
date was filled in on the
Okay, right.
blank.
All right, with no further discussion on the motion from Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti and a second from Councilman Hand to approve the Capital Improvement Program, Resolution 2022-06. I ask all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. Very good. Resolution 2022-07, this is our monthly water allocation, this for the month of June. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Any discussion, questions?
The math checks out.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Any additional discussion? All right, on the motion to approve the monthly water allocation in Resolution 2022-07 from Councilman Fuller with a second from Councilwoman Foster. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. Very good. All right, next we have up for adoption, Resolution 2022-08. This is Sustainable Maryland Certification Support. If you recall from past conversations, I know those that attend the MML conferences and such, there's always discussion of the Sustainable Maryland. I know legislatively speaking, there was a lot of money kind of plugged into that program from the state this year as well. The city has discussed many years looking to be involved in this and hopefully attaining Sustainable Maryland certification. With a lot of the projects we've already done, a large majority of them would qualify us for the necessary points to attain the certification. So I think it's best we use that to our advantage and open ourselves up to a little more funding in the future. So with that, the first step is to pass a resolution from the council. And then from there, we'll take necessary steps regarding green team and things like that. So with that, before we do this, are there any questions about what Sustainable Maryland is? Okay. So then I'll entertain a motion from the council.
Motion to approve Resolution 2022-8, Sustainable Maryland Certification Support.
Excellent. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Very good. Any discussion on the resolution?
I'm just glad we finally did this.
Amen. Amen. Yep. Finally, on Sunday or Monday, when we get to MML conference, we can tell them.
Yeah.
Right.
We passed our resolution. But not yet. Let's do that first. Is there any discussion? All right. Any input from staff on this?
No, I think you summarized it very well. And the legislation that the mayor mentioned actually ensures that future governors will have to put at least $500,000 a year in, beginning in July 2023 and each year thereafter. So it's going to be an ongoing funding source. So that's why, part of why we decided we should get in now. So
Is that in perpetuity or is there a sunset to
it
that?
does not, the bill did not have a sunset,
Okay.
so,
That's exciting.
yeah.
All right. Comments, questions, concerns? I shouldn't think there'd be any concerns. All right. On the motion from Councilwoman Foster and second from Councilman Haines to approve Resolution 2022-08, Sustainable Maryland Certification Support, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Excellent. Thank you so much. Resolution 2022-09, the State Revitalization Program Application Support. This is something I believe we did one of these last year as well. Mish, our Economic Development Director, is looking to apply for some grants and assistance and needs a resolution approved by council to kind of bolster that application. So I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve?
Thank you. Do I have a second, please? Any questions? It's very cut and dry. It's just us saying, yes, we want you to give us money, because that has to be asked. All right, any discussion on that? On the motion to approve Resolution 2022-09, State Revitalization Program Application Support from Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti, with a second from Councilman Fuller. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. Excellent. With that, it gets us out of our hard business. We get into our city manager report. Mr. Weeper, what do you have for us this evening?
Okay, well, we've touched on a few of the things on my report already, so I'll skip over them. With regard to the Sewell annexation, we've responded to a number of inquiries about growth, water sewer capacity, things like that. I know we'll be talking about that annexation in depth next month, but Clara has assembled comments and we'll kind of format things and get that out to you all for review over the next week or so. So you have plenty of time to review before we have our discussion next month. Let's see. The Meadowbrook Interceptor, the construction of the replacement portion is complete. We're just waiting for the vegetation to come back in to the point that the grading inspector will close out the grading permit, and then that segment of the project will be considered complete. We are holding off on the lining portion to include it with the other lining projects for FY23 in hopes that we'll get a lower rate per linear foot by bidding a larger amount to be done. But so far, the DPW has reported that they have observed decreased flows to the York Street pumping station, just as a result of this segment being done. So I'm optimistic that these projects are going to do what we need them to. Let's see. Roberts Mill Road, Broad Street reconstruction. Engineering work is ongoing. We expect the 60% design later this month, specifically on the 28th, and we are targeting having it out to bid in November. Let's see, we already talked about the town-county agreement, Sustainable Maryland. So that's really about it for me, unless anyone has questions.
All right, I'll open up to the council. Do you have any questions on the city manager report this evening?
Jim, I actually just have an inquiry about, where do the Public Works, where we stand on the plans as far as their new building? Gotcha, did I?
Just, well, no, we had the, I guess, kind of a conceptual plan worked out through Morton Buildings. They are a source well contractor, meaning that they have essentially gone through a bidding process for a specific product. So potentially, we could just go with them when it's time to do that building. I do think this project is going to be somewhat grant dependent, as we had added that figure. I don't have the page in front of me, but as you'll recall, that was a pretty substantial figure for constructing the building as DPW really would like it. Even the slightly scaled back version that doesn't have the mezzanine level they wanted and is still pretty pricey. So I'm sure we will be seeking some grant opportunities for that. But nothing new beyond what's in the capital improvement program for it, just that ballpark number from the concept plan.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right, any additional questions on the city manager report or the departmental reports? All right, hearing none. Thank you, sir. We'll go to Mr. Gullo. Do you have a legal report for us this evening? Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Gullo. Are there any questions on that legal report this evening? Okay. Hearing none, don't go far, Mr. Gullo, because you're going to be needed on the next one, too. Coming up, we have legal assistance on code violations. If you recall from discussion, I guess, last month, we have two main properties that have become a larger thorn in our behinds than we wish that any of them to be. One we have referred to as the Cat P House. The other is a property on West Baltimore Street that we've had issues with in the past. What we're looking for tonight is the council to authorize the city attorney to go at it with all the force possible to correct these situations. Is that correct, Mr. Gullo? Okay. So with that, I'm going to seek authorization from the council, and I'll entertain a motion for that authorization.
So moved.
All right, do I have a second to that?
Second.
Very good. Any further discussion on that? All right, hearing none. All in favor of authorizing the city attorney to go after these overdue code enforcement matters, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. All right, Mr. Gullo, I bequeath to you. Do your thing.
Go at it.
All right, I'm going to send a message. I believe there's people watching from home that are having trouble hearing some things. I'm going to send a message here. It may not matter. They couldn't hear Jay, and I don't think Jay's going to speak anymore, so. Nonetheless, moving on to new business, we have our monthly financial report. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
All right, any questions or concerns with the monthly financial report? All right, hearing none on the motion from Councilman Foster and the second from Councilman Hand to approve the monthly financial report, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. Excellent. I'm going to ask the same of the accounts payables. May I have a motion, please?
So moved. To approve?
Thank you. And a second to that.
Second. Oh, Judy can have it.
Judy has it. All right, any discussion on the accounts payables this evening? All right, hearing none on the motion to approve the accounts payables from Councilman Haines and second from Councilwoman Fuller. All in favor of approving signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. Very good. Up next, we have the Syrian purchase option. As described by Mr. Gullo in his report, we're seeking for the council to approve that the city execute the option agreement, essentially putting the ball into their court. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to execute that agreement.
Motion to approve the, Lee, do you want it?
Move to execute the agreement.
Thank you. May I have a second to that, please?
Second.
Very good. Any questions on that? All right. Sounds like everyone's clear. So on the motion to execute the option agreement on the Syrian purchase from Councilman Hand, the second from Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Say nay. Very good. Lastly, under new business, we have a special event permit application for the Francis Scott Key High School Future Farmers of America Car, Truck, Motorcycle Show that they would like to conduct at Memorial Park on July 16th from, I assume, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And everything else looks like it is in order there. So I'll entertain a motion and please specify.
Motion to approve?
May I have a second, please?
Second.
All right. Any comments, concerns? All right. It would be nice to have a car show back in town. It's been a couple years since we've had one down at the park, at least. I know they've done them elsewhere, but at the park would be great. So on the motion to approve the special event permit for Francis Scott Key Future Farmers of America Car, Truck, Motorcycle Show, motion was made by Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti, the second from Councilman Haines. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed, say nay. Very good. With that, we're going to slide right into our council member reports, and this evening we'll begin with Councilman Hand. What do you have for us tonight?
I actually have nothing to share this month. My apologies for being anticlimactic.
That's okay. Worse things have happened in my life personally, but thank you nonetheless. We'll go to Councilwoman Fuller. What do you have for us this evening?
Okay, our tennis and basketball courts will hopefully be done next week. We've had a couple hitches, but they should be shortly finished and ready to go. Let's see, our fishing derby, wine fest, and the Memorial Day events all went very well. Thank you to everybody that participated. The next event is going to be on July 2nd. They got moved. And it is a movie at Memorial Park. It's going to be at 8:45, and it is run by the Carroll County Arts Council and the Taneytown Men of Faith. And then obviously our Independence Day celebration will be the next night, July 3rd, at Memorial Park. We're going to have a DJ and games, food and dessert trucks. It's All Good, the Lions Club, Cole's Concessions, The Cow, Kona Ice, and Amber's Bake Shop will all be attending. Everything starts at 6, and as always, the fireworks will start when it gets dark. So hopefully the weather will
Weather permitting, yes.
maintain. If it does not, the rain date is going to be Tuesday, July 5th. Did I get everything? I think that's everything.
All right, thank you very much. Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have the Taneytown Police Department Training and Education Report for the month of May 2022. So all patrol officers participated in in-service training and continuing education units for bloodborne pathogens for first responders, community policing strategies, and evidence collection, control, and storage. On May 2nd and May 9th, with respect to specialized training, all patrol officers conducted force-on-force scenario-based training with an emphasis on de-escalation tactics and less lethal use of force. And these were 2 4-hour training events. On May 10th, Senior Patrol Officer Sackadalis participated in Managing Conflict and Confrontations, a 6-hour course. On May 11th, Senior Patrol Officer Sackadalis participated in the American Red Cross Basic Life Support Certification, a 4-hour course. On May 13th, Corporal Schultz participated in the Case Law Every Cop Should Know Maryland Case Law Seminar, which was an 8-hour course. From May 16th through May 18th, Corporal Schaefer participated in the Field Training Officer Certification course, a total of 21 hours. And Sergeant Castlear and Senior Patrol Officer Sackadalis participated in the NCIC Meters Recertification course, which took 4 hours. I also have the general departmental report for the police department for the month of May 2022. The total number of dispatched or generated calls for service were 333. The total number of citations issued were 57. The total number of warnings issued were 33. The total number of adult arrests were 11. The total number of juvenile arrests were 2. With respect to community outreach, Erin Ecker has completed her internship with the department in conjunction with the Career and Technology Center. Her internship began at the beginning of February and concluded on May 20th. Erin was a great pleasure to have as an intern, and everyone here wishes her well in all her future endeavors. Of special note, I want to add something to myself this evening. On Monday, we conducted officer interviews for vacant positions in the department. And when I sit on the interview boards, considering potential new hires for the department, the question that I always ask any potential candidate is, why would you specifically want to work in Taneytown? Of all the other places in this county or in the area, why Taneytown in specific? And this latest group of officers, a number of them, shared a couple of really interesting and encouraging viewpoints and reasons for wanting to do so, and I wanted to share those with everybody. So first of all, a number of them had mentioned that they have heard that we are a pro-police community. We're very welcoming, we're very warm, we're very friendly. And this is certainly endearing to them. And I think it certainly speaks volumes about the community that we serve. Second of all, the department, thanks to Chief Etzler and the professional conduct of the officers, have gained a really stellar reputation among the law enforcement communities. Others are referring to our department as a model department, and it's the kind of place that officers really do want to work. Third of all, that they appreciate and respect that we are a pro-police mayor and council and administration who support their department and law enforcement generally, which takes away at least one concern that they'll have doing the job, that not all elected leadership is antagonistic toward law enforcement. And lastly, almost all of them said that, this town feels like home to them, that it's the kind of community that they don't only want to serve, but they actually want to become an intrinsic part of. And I think that is certainly credit to the work that we do and to the kind of community that we are. And I think it's really important that we that kind of feedback is shared not just with us but with the public in general, because so often we in the past we had a kind of a bad reputation with for a number of different reasons. But to hear now that people are looking at us as a model department and that we are a very involved and pro-police mayor, council, community, and that we're very friendly, warm, and welcoming is something that I think absolutely needed to be shared with everybody. And Mr. Mayor, that's all for me this evening. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
lied. I have one more thing. May I add it, please?
Councilwoman Fuller, you liar. What do you have for us this
It's an
evening?
accident, I promise. I did forget to mention, this Saturday from 1 to 3 is the Story Stroll at the park. It is a partnership between the Carroll County Public Libraries, City of Taneytown, Parks and Recreation Department, excuse me, and the Boy Scouts. It has 20 stations along the stroll, and I know that some of us got invitations to attend the grand start, I guess. She does need us to RSVP by
Are they going to have
today.
Arthurs? I thought I saw.
There was going to be, I want to remember how many there were. It mentions the first book featured is going to be Beach Day. It doesn't mention the author themselves, but they are going to rotate them out as it progresses, so.
And at which park is this? taking
Memorial.
place? Memorial
It is at
Park.
Memorial
Thank you.
Park. Yep.
You said the park, like we have
The
6
park.
parks.
The park.
The
It's Memorial
park.
Park. From
Very
now on.
good. From here on out, the park is Memorial Park.
That's right. Okay, now I'm finished.
Thank you, Councilwoman. You're cut off.
Okay.
All right. Councilwoman Foster, what do you have for us?
My report unfortunately is not too glowing. With regards to Habitat for Humanity, we are in a holding pattern right now with the build and getting the families in because of bureaucratic backlogs. And it looks like it will take till the end of the year to get anything done, if then. By then, it'll be cold, and we're probably looking into next year
Right.
before they end up breaking ground. But we are patiently waiting. With regards to Silver Academy, the same thing. Bureaucratic backlogs, they haven't gotten any new residential students in. They won't tell us when, if, or anything. We had our board meeting today, and same thing. Your contract goes to August, we'll see after that.
Oh, spectacular.
Yeah. So unfortunately, that's the way it is.
Right. Understood. Well, here's hoping that a miracle happens.
Yes.
If there's anything that can happen from the city side to help Habitat or anything push that forward, that would be, I think we'd probably figure something out, talk to some people and see what we can do there.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. Councilman Haines, what do you have for us this evening?
Got a couple things this evening. So just want to announce a few items. Firstly, DHCD has announced that Main Street, Taneytown will get $25,000 for fiscal year 2023. So this is a 25% increase over last fiscal year for our operating assistance grant from the state. In addition to that, Evapco has purchased the 70-acre parcel of land next to their building. So we are getting ready to enter discussions with them to make sure that their intentions and our zoning and everything will be aligned and compatible. And then the 22-acre parcel of land that is by the railroad tracks, the FP Duffy facility on Frederick Street and Warehouse Alley, has been listed for sale for a little over $800,000. It's currently zoned as light industrial, but it's shown on the land use map as urban mix, I believe. So that's a zone that we envisioned but never included in the zoning ordinance. The broker for the sellers reached out to staff to understand options for the property. And then lastly, our economic development director has met with McDaniel College's director of career development this week. They're trying to identify McDaniel majors that align with the professional jobs that our big employers are having trouble filling, things like project managers, production planners, and he's also going to reach out to Hood College in Frederick before the new school year starts, just to kind of address some of the local workforce issues that we're having. And then lastly, I want to plug next month's business breakfast. Our guest speaker is going to be Director Kelby Brick from the Governor's Office of the Deaf and Hard of Hearing, and he's going to come and talk about the deaf and hard of hearing in the workforce and how to accommodate them and things like that. And that is all that I have,
That's
Mr. Mayor.
July, not Friday.
July.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Councilman. Kind of looking back a little bit, I think we had a very successful wine fest last month. Besides the fact it was a rather warm day for the time of year, I think overall it was a very good crowd. We had some great vendors there. A very enjoyable time walking around and chatting with people and seeing what all the little wares that the vendors had out. Memorial Day, I think between our ceremony in the morning and our parade in the afternoon, I think it was a very nice day for the city to get together and celebrate those who gave their lives. A good memory to them. I think it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the ceremony. I appreciate Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti speaking at the ceremony and all the members of council who participated in the parade by waving to everyone along East Baltimore Street. Myself, along with Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti and Councilwoman Foster, attended the Francis Scott Key High School graduation. Very exciting to see another group of alumni getting off to their new life outside of education. Some will continue their education elsewhere. Others will be joining armed forces. Other into the workforce. So it was a very nice morning to spend at McDaniel College for the FSK graduation. This past Saturday, I had my first, it's sad to say, after 3 years in office, Mayor's Forum, kind of a town hall type of deal over at the library where residents were able to come out and ask pretty much any question. I appreciate the Mayor Pro Tem and also City Manager for coming out, kind of supporting me in that. And we had probably about a dozen people there, which I think wasn't bad. And a good bit of the conversation was regarding the annexation, and there were also some other issues that came up that I was very glad to hear about. I expect to do another one of these in November, and hopefully we'll get even more of a turnout for that. Looking into the future, next week we have the carnival coming up. Our volunteer fire department is holding their annual carnival starting Monday evening through Saturday. So if you can go out, get some food, ride some rides, have some fun, support the local fire department. I know they have some apparatus they're trying to raise money to afford, and anything we can do to help them is much appreciated. They serve our community very well. And then lastly, as a reminder, the reason we did our combined meeting tonight is that next week is our Maryland Municipal League Conference in Ocean City. Majority of us will be attending that. As a result, I'm leaving Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti in charge from Sunday morning through Tuesday night, and no longer.
Don't worry, I have some executive orders in mind.
All sidewalks will be painted blue. So he'll be in charge when we go represent the city at the MML conference. The reason for this is we get to go to a lot of work sessions, network with other elected officials, and I believe we always come away learning something new that we can bring back and make an impact in our community. Another great thing about that is we'll be recognized again this year as a banner city, banner town, which I believe we've had that for 10 years in a row. It's been a long time. It's been great. We're going to keep it going. But that's next week. So the bulk of us will be down in Ocean City, not so much for pleasure, definitely for business. But in the meantime, hope everyone's on their best behavior, and we'll see you all when we get back. If there's nothing else this evening, though, I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Ooh. Do Haines on the motion and Fuller on the second. All in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you.